Good morning, class.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Um, Today we have a class on etiquette. Class rep, can you kindly confirm the number of students who are not present?
Yes, Madam Hope.
Yes, Madam
We
Hope.
we have one of us who is not
We
present.
we have one of us who is not present.
He's not feeling well, and he
Kevin
sent an apology.
is not feeling well and he sent an apology. He's not
He said
able to
that he will
join this
communicate
class.
to you.
He said that he will communicate to you.
Okay, no, that's perfectly fine. Um, I'm hoping you did the assignment that we had agreed, all of you, for last week.
Yes, we did, and I have the
Yes, we
submissions.
did, and I
I'll
have the
forward to
submissions.
your
I'll
email
forward
as
to your
you
email
started.
as you started.
That's perfectly fine. So today I'm going to introduce a new topic. It's on etiquette. Has anyone of you heard of the word etiquette before? Penina,
Yes, I have.
what's the meaning of etiquette?
I think etiquette is the behaviors of a person or how you behave around people, like how you introduce yourself to people. Whenever you meet others, you say hello to them or you're just respectful to people within your surrounding.
That's correct. Someone else with a different definition?
Maybe I can also try to give my understanding of etiquette.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think these are accepted
I
ways of
think
behavior or
these
mannerisms.
are accepted ways of behavior
For
or
example,
mannerisms.
we
For
can have
example,
etiquette
we
maybe
can
in the
have
workplace.
etiquette maybe in the
We can
workplace.
have etiquette at home.
We can have etiquette
The
at
way
home.
people
The way
dine,
people
the way
dine,
people
the way
converse
people
on the telephone,
converse
etc.
on
So
the
etiquette is actually
telephone,
accepted ways of behavior.
etc. So
Observing
etiquette is
that
actually
respect.
accepted ways of behavior, observing that respect.
Okay, thank
Thank you.
you, Edmond. It's true. Etiquette basically it's the accepted ways or the accepted behaviors that we as human beings should behave. Now we're going to go through the different types of etiquette, and the first type of etiquette we're going to be looking at is business etiquette. Um, so I'll just read and then maybe we can discuss about it. So the first one is business etiquette. Business etiquette includes ways to conduct a certain business. Business etiquette includes ways to conduct certain business. Don't even don't ever cheat customers. It is simply unethical. For instance, okay, before I even explain, what do you understand now by whatever I've just read out?
So as we said,
So
etiquette is
as we
accepted ways
said,
of behavior.
etiquette
Now
is
this
accepted
one
ways
is
of behavior.
in the
Now
business
this one
context,
is can be in the business
on
context,
how you carry on
like
your
how you
business activities, how you treat customers, talking to
carry
them,
on your them in a respectful
responding
way,
to them on
responding to
time,
them on time,
etc. It's
etc.
following the
So
standard
it's
procedures.
following the standard procedures.
True. Now, that is very true. Now, you normally find in most cases when someone is doing any kind of business, there's a certain way of handling things you're supposed to do. For instance, um, the way you dress, the way you speak, uh, you're supposed to be ethical about everything that you're doing. Um, and as a matter of fact, at the end of it all, there's a way that even clients tend to believe the things that you say based on the way you present yourself. Now, the next etiquette is eating etiquette. Now, when talking about eating etiquette, I'm pretty sure you've had an encounter with someone who you've had an encounter with different people when maybe you've seated with them, and the way that they eat their food. It could be the way they chew. It could be the way they're handling their food. It could be the way the way they carry themselves during the meal time. For instance, the way you normally find there's some cultures whereby people sit together and eat together, maybe using something called a sinia, and it's from their culture. But now some other people they prefer using fork and knife and all that. But now when talking about eating etiquette, there's some things that in the public we are not allowed to do. For instance, we're not allowed to eat while we're not allowed to talk while eating. We're not allowed to chew loudly. We're not allowed to lick our fingers when eating. There are certain things that are not accepted, and everyone uh, should learn on how best to handle themselves in public. Then we also have telephone etiquette. Now, when talking about telephone etiquette, there's a standard way of receiving phone calls. For instance, Kipto, maybe you can give us an example of how best to pick a call when someone calls you.
Okay,
Okay,
in
in
telephone
telephone
etiquette, when someone
etiquette, when
calls
someone
you,
calls you,
you should
you
be
should be
patient on
patient
call.
on call.
You give
You give
chance to the other
chance
person
to the other
talking.
person talking.
Don't interrupt
Don't
another
interrupt
person
while
is
another
speaking.
person is speaking.
Again, you don't
Again,
shout.
you don't shout.
And
And
also,
also, I believe that
in telephone
in
etiquette, when you're
telephone
calling
etiquette, when you're
someone
calling
and
someone
the
and
person
yeah,
fails
the
to pick
person
the
fails
call,
to pick the call,
if you call
if you call
somebody at
somebody at
11:40 a.m.
11:40 a.m.
and you're
and
calling
you're
again
calling
at
again at
11:41,
11:41,
what will
what will
convince you that
convince
at
you that at
11:42 that
11:42
person
that
will pick your
person will
call?
pick your call?
Therefore,
Therefore,
telephone
telephone
etiquette is
etiquette
observing
is
that.
observing that.
You call
You
once,
call once,
that
that
person
person
might
might
be
be
in
in
a
a
meeting,
meeting. He
he
or
or she
she
will
will
get
get
back.
back.
Therefore, we'll say
Therefore,
that
we'll
you're
say that you're
observing
observing
telephone
telephone
etiquette.
etiquette.
That's well said. Penina, anything on telephone etiquette? Penina, I'm guessing her network is down. Eh? So when talking about telephone etiquette, there are certain things that you're supposed to put into consideration. For instance, a call should not ring more than thrice. When when you're receiving a call in any institution, you're supposed to any organization or institution, you're supposed to have a maximum of three calls or three rings. Sorry, uh, the first ring you're not supposed to pick. You can either pick on the second ring or the third ring. That is acceptable. But now the fourth, fifth ring, that's not acceptable. It's not considered as etiquette. And also, you're supposed to let the caller get to know who they're talking to. You're supposed to introduce yourself as well as introduce the institution that you're working for them to be able to understand who they're talking to, and in case of any queries, they're able to address you using your own name. Uh, Something else that maybe we also need to take into consideration when talking about telephone etiquette is when you hang up. When you're the person who's called, you should be the first person to hang up. But when someone else calls you, you're not supposed to hang up until that person hangs up. So if you're the person who's called, make sure that you're the person who hangs up first, not the other way around. Sawa sawa. So far, have you understood?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, madam.
Yes.
Yes, madam.
The next etiquette is wedding etiquette, whereby we we have different cultures, and under the different cultures we have different ways that we normally handle weddings. So there are certain things that we normally we're normally told we're supposed to do when going for any wedding function, because don't forget, once you get employed in your different institutions, um, you might be sent by the company to go represent it, and maybe during one of the staff's wedding or a client's wedding. So it is important for everyone to understand perfectly well how you're supposed to conduct yourself during a wedding. Now, um, not forgetting that weddings are normally once in a lifetime event. So it's not something that maybe you can postpone and maybe say I'm going to go for that wedding which was supposed to be held this week, but I'm going to go for it next week. So once it's done, it's done. So you need to prepare yourself accordingly. Number one, nowadays we normally have people who have dress codes. So you normally find some weddings they require you to do their certain dress code. So you're supposed to adhere to whatever they say. If if you're told to wear all white, kindly ensure that you do all white. If it is Ankara, make sure you do Ankara, but don't do. If you're told the dress code is white, you go dressed in a black dress. No, so that would be going out of what you've been requested to do. And also, when you're going for a wedding, ensure if people are drinking, don't overdrink, don't embarrass yourself. If you take hard hard drinks, ensure that you do it in moderation. Don't go embarrassing your company, because again, don't forget that image really matters. So you need to carry yourself the way you'd want people to address you. Sawa sawa?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the next one is meeting etiquette. When talking about meeting etiquette, there are certain essentials when you're told to go for a meeting. What do you really need to carry? Exactly.
Notebook and pen.
Exactly. That is that's one of the things that you need to carry. But in case you've been told maybe you're going to do a presentation, what do you need to do? The company has told you you're going to do a presentation on something, and you're going to be the presenter. So what preparations are you supposed to make?
Be
Uh-huh.
there on time and make sure whatever you are to present, if you are to use like what is it called, like a projector, make sure everything is set and ready for the meeting and you are well prepared, and make sure your presentation anyone from whatever corner of the room can be able to see it well.
That's perfectly right and well put. So there's certain things that you need to do before if you're asked to do a presentation, or if you've been asked to lead a meeting, you're supposed to ensure that number one, there's a room there's a room that is is specifically uh, vacant for the meeting. So, and every person who's supposed to go for that meeting is well advised about it, so that maybe when you go for the meeting, um, you don't find yourself being alone. So it's very important to ensure that you also include you make sure that everyone is well informed about the meeting, and it's normally courteous enough. And then don't when calling people for a meeting, don't call them last minute, maybe like a few minutes before the meeting starts. Maybe someone is engaged elsewhere. So it is very important to ensure that you inform people well on time. Sawa. And then you also need to ensure that you have a notebook, or a notebook and a pen, in case you receive some important information. You can jot it down as you prepare, maybe to make a presentation or something like that. In case you're making a presentation, you also need to ensure that maybe you have a laptop, a projector. Just be ready to ensure that everything is perfectly fine for the presentation that you have. Sawa. And then you have social
Yes.
etiquette. So when talking about social etiquette, it is the way you handle yourself in public. For instance, how do you dress? Will you make does your dressing make other people uncomfortable? Because like right now we have a certain celebrity in the US who does clothes close to being nude, and it's kind of her signature dressing, which at times it makes other people, and even other celebrities, complain that they're not comfortable with the way that she dresses. But now, as much as people talk about my dress, my choice, you also need to put into consideration how other people get affected now, by the way you dress. So you need to ensure that you dress in a conservative way, I'm not talking about you need to dress like a mokorino or like a Islamic person. They call what hijabs and bui, but whatever you dress, don't do any revealing clothes. Just do something that is going to make everyone around you comfortable. And also, um, we have ladies nowadays who do stilettos. Ensure that you wear a pair of shoes that you're comfortable wearing. Don't do something that would make even your walking style change completely simply because you're not comfortable walking in it. And then we have the bathroom etiquette. When talking about bathroom etiquette, it's how you use the bathroom, or in other countries we call it washroom. So when you go to any public restroom, ensure that you use it well. Leave it better than you found it. Don't use a washroom and then you simply don't flush the toilet. You leave it dirty. It's not courteous. So you need to ensure that the person who comes in after you, they are comfortable, and that's the reason as to why you normally find um, some of the hotels, they normally have someone who comes to clean after like every 40 minutes, because maybe you find someone who doesn't care about how they leave the washroom. Yet it is our responsibility to ensure that certain things are just clean. Don't use the toilets, don't use the washrooms, and leave them dirty, and then you think the person who's supposed to clean should just come and clean it after you. It is not courteous enough. So you're supposed to make sure that it is clean before you leave. Then the last thing that we're going to be looking at today is corporate etiquette. When talking about corporate etiquette, there's a certain way you're supposed to behave or conduct yourself. Sorry for that. You're supposed to conduct yourself in your organization. Nowadays, you normally find ladies or even men maybe trying to seduce their bosses for promotions and such. Instead of them working hard and getting promotions, they'd want to get the easy way out. Under etiquette, it doesn't apply. So you're supposed to work really hard and ensure that everything that you do works hand in hand with the company's vision and mission statement. Sawa sawa. Have you
Yes.
understood the things that I've taught today?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so lastly, before I leave, because I can also see time, I've spent some time. So before I leave, I wanted to give an assignment. So I'll collect it next week on Monday at 2. So the class rep kindly ensure that you bring all the assignments on Monday next week at 2. So the assignment will be you um, you identify the different etiquettes that people from the class that we've had today. You identify the different etiquettes that people normally use here at KST vet. Have you understood
Okay.
that?
Okay, madam.
Aye. Sawa
Okay,
sawa.
madam.
Maybe now we can uh, a close of this session and we'll meet next time. Have a good afternoon.